The ground beneath your feet is warm baked by the relentless sun hanging over Thermopylae. The wind that slips through the narrow pass carries dust and heat and the distant roar of an approaching army. You don't just hear it, you feel it. A low, steady tremor rising through the earth as if the land itself is bracing for impact. You are not a spectator. You are a Spartan warrior. Bronze plates cling to your body like a second skin, polished and heavy, but comforting in their familiarity. Your spear rests firmly in your right hand. Its ash shaft smooth from years of training. Your shield as large as your torso and engraved with the lambda presses against your forearm. It is weighty, but it's more than just wood and bronze. It's the shield that will protect the man to your left. His shield protects you. This is how you've been trained, not as an individual, but as part of a wall. A phalanx. Thermopylae, the hot gates. A narrow corridor between the mountains and the sea. On any other day, this is a place where travelers pass quietly. Today, it is a choke point, a trap. It is where a force of a few thousand Greeks led by 300 Spartans will make their stand against the Persian Empire, against Xerxes, against an army that outnumbers yours by hundreds of thousands. You look around at your brothers. Each one of them carries the same armor, the same shield, the same expression carved into their faces, a calm that isn't the absence of fear, but its mastery. You've trained since childhood to stand here. Fear is not something you get to keep. It belongs to the enemy. Then you hear it. A low rumble like thunder rolling across the plain. It isn't the sky, it's the march of an empire. Xerxes' army, the largest the ancient world has ever seen, is advancing toward the narrow pass. Dust rises on the horizon in thick columns, as if the world itself is burning. A messenger runs past. He's shouting, counts names of nations under Persian rule. Medes, Babylonians, Egyptians, Phoenicians, countless others. A living sea of men. But your line doesn't break. Not a single Spartan moves. You inhale slowly. The air tastes of salt and dust. Your heart beats steadily, not because you're fearless, but because fear is useless now. The king stands at the front. Leonidas. His presence is like a pillar driven into the earth. He says few words. He doesn't need to shout. Every man here knows what is at stake. This isn't about surviving. This is about standing. The hours stretch, the noise grows louder, and then a silence. A silence so complete that even the sea seems to hold its breath. You can hear the creak of your leather straps, the distant cry of a bird, the soft exhale of the man beside you. Then the horn. A single Persian war horn cuts through the still air. The first wave is coming. Shields lift, spears lower. Every movement is rehearsed, a dance learned since boyhood. The front line of Spartans braces their shields against the earth, tilting slightly forward shoulder to shoulder. Behind them, the second line angles their spears over the top. You are part of the machine now, not a man. A wall, the Persians appear like a tide. Their ranks stretch farther than you can see. Colorful banners whip in the wind. Shields glint in the sun. You can almost feel their confidence, their certainty that no 300 men could possibly stop them. But you know something they don't. This isn't an open field. This is Thermopylae. And here their numbers mean nothing. Your knuckles tighten around the spear shaft. Your breathing slows. The world narrows to the strip of rocky ground in front of you. The arrows come first, a swarm that blots out the sun. The sky darkens as thousands of feathered shafts scream downward. But you don't flinch. You raise your shield and the world turns to bronze and shadows. The sound of arrows slamming into shields is deafening, a metallic storm, relentless and thunderous. But the line holds, always holds. Then the shouting begins. The Persians surge forward. The first wave light infantry, fast and eager. You hear their sandals scraping the ground, their war cries filling the air. Leonidas doesn't speak, he doesn't have to. The order is already given in the way you were raised, trained, forged. The phalanx leans forward. The moment you've trained for your entire life is here, and when the first enemy reaches the wall, everything explodes. The crash is violent. It feels less like two armies meeting and more like two storms smashing head-on. The Persian front line slams into the Spartan phalanx, and for a heartbeat, the world is nothing but impact bronze on bronze, wood on flesh. Shield against shield. The sound isn't a clean clash, it's messy. A mix of cracking bones, metal scraping men, grunting through clenched teeth. Your spear finds its first target almost without thought. The ash shaft bends slightly as the bronze tip drives into a chest, and you feel the jolt run through your arm. You yank it back, pivot your weight, and thrust again. Training takes over where fear could have lived. You don't have the space to swing no glorious duels here. Just a wall of men locked together, killing inches in front of their faces. Your world is a tunnel. You see only the man in front of you. You hear only your breath and the synchronized grunt of the Phalanx pushing forward. When one Spartan shield shifts, another closes the gap without hesitation. The discipline is absolute. The Persians are faster, lighter, louder, but they're not united like this. Their first wave crumbles against the wall. You see their eyes widen as the line doesn't break. You shove forward with your shoulder, the shield digging into your arm. Your spear jabs through gaps in their formation, finding unarmored flesh. It doesn't feel heroic. It feels mechanical, brutal, efficient. Then comes a sound that every Spartan knows, the short bark of an order. The front line drops a step, the second line surges forward. Spears trade places, fresh strength replaces fatigue. The machine keeps moving. The Persians keep coming. You see the second wave before you even finish catching your breath. This time it's heavier troops, better armor, better shields, more confident. Their captains scream commands. The ground shakes with their approach, but the pass is narrow. No matter how many they bring, only so many can fit at once. That's your advantage. Arrows fall again, but you've stopped noticing them. The rain of death has become part of the rhythm. Shields lift, the world darkens, the storm passes. Then the shouting surges. The new wave hits. Harder. You can taste iron in your mouth. Sweat burns your eyes. You brace your shield and hold the line. For a moment, a Persian soldier slams against you with full force, and you feel your knees buckle. But then the man to your left shoves back, and you find your strength again. You are not alone. You are never alone. The fighting grinds on. It isn't fast, but it's relentless. You feel bodies pressing against you, the air growing hotter, thicker. Blood mixes with dust beneath your feet, making the ground slick. You push forward, one breath at a time, one thrust at a time. Then something shifts. The Persians hesitate, their advance falters. You can see it in their eyes. They expected a wall of men to shatter under their weight, but it hasn't. They expected fear, but all they found is iron. A roar erupts from the Spartan line, not as individuals, but as one sound, deep, guttural, terrifying. It isn't the roar of men who hope to survive. It's the roar of men who've already accepted death and will take as many with them as they can. The Persians pull back, not far, just enough to regroup. But in that space, you breathe again. You adjust your grip. You look at the man beside you. His helmet is dented, his shield splattered with blood, but his stance is unshaken. The sun is higher now. The pass reeks of sweat, smoke, blood, and salt. Your arms ache, your lungs burn, but the line is still standing. And in that moment, a quiet, dangerous certainty spreads through the ranks. This wall will not break easily, but Xerxes isn't done. You know it. Every Spartan here knows it. He has more men than you can count. He will throw them at you until either you or they are gone. Somewhere down the line, Leonidas' voice carries over the din. Short, steady, a reminder, not a speech. Hold. The Persians ready again. The horns wail across the valley. A sea of shields moves forward. You roll your shoulders, feeling the weight of your armor shift. You tighten your grip on the spear. And when they charge again, you're ready. Not because you think you'll survive, but because you know what it means to be Spartan. By midday, the sun turns the stones beneath your sandals into burning coals. Sweat collects behind the bronze rim of your helmet and stings your eyes. Your shield arm trembles, not from fear, but from the sheer force of what you've held back. Every clash, every shove, every breath taken inside this choke point feels heavier than the last. The pass at Thermopylae is soaked in dust and blood, and both sides know that this is no ordinary battle. The Persian army adjusts. You can sense it before you see it. The rhythm changes. Their war horns scream again, not like a charge this time, but like a challenge. The next wave steps forward, the immortals, the elite guard of Xerxes. 10,000 men who believe they cannot be defeated. Their armor gleams black under the sun, their shields painted with symbols of empire. They move with precision, disciplined and cold. You tighten your grip on your spear. The men beside you do the same. No one speaks. No one needs to. This is the wave you've been waiting for. The immortals approach without shouting. No chaos this time, only silence. It's unnerving. You can hear their boots hitting the ground in perfect unison, a rhythm that matches your heartbeat. When they finally reach the line, the world doesn't explode like before. It folds inward. Their shields press into yours, their spears strike like coordinated lightning. They are not reckless. They aim for the gaps. For your throat, your armpit, the places where bronze cannot save you. For the first time, you feel the push. Real push. The wall shakes. The sound is sharper. Spears breaking, shields splintering, men grunting through clenched jaws. You duck under a thrust. Slam your shield upward and drive your spear through the gap it opens. A Persian collapses, another steps over him. They are relentless. The man beside you takes a spear to the shoulder. He stumbles, and before you can react, another Spartan steps into his place. There's no hesitation. No gap allowed. You were trained to make the wall bigger than any one man, but the immortals keep pressing. They're not like the first waves. They don't break, they don't scream. They just move forward in unstoppable black tide. The order comes down the line push. You lean your shoulder into your shield. The weight of the Phalanx shifts forward as one body. The sound of men straining armor grinding. Earth shifting beneath thousands of feet. It's not elegant, it's raw power. Inch by inch, the Persian advance slows. For a moment, everything is just noise and heat. Your world narrows again, not to a tunnel, but to a single point of contact. The enemy in front of you. His eyes, your breath, the sound of both of you trying not to die. And then something gives. The immortals stumble. A ripple moves through their formation. It's small at first, then larger. Your line surges forward. You stab through a weak point. The man falls. A space opens. Another Spartan fills it. The immortals regroup quickly, but not quickly enough. The narrow pass works against them. Their numbers mean nothing here. Their discipline is matched. They retreat, but there's no celebration. No one cheers. This isn't victory. This is survival. And survival here is temporary. As the immortals fall back, you collapse to one knee for a moment. Your breathing is ragged. Your shield arm feels like fire. The air smells like copper and ash. You glance at the line. A few bodies lie where Spartans once stood, but the wall is still unbroken. Leonidas walks the line. His eyes move over each man, not to inspire, but to remind. This fight isn't over. It won't be over until every man here is gone, and everyone knows it. The Persians pull back, but not far. In the distance, you see their engineers moving. You know what that means. They're building bridges, adjusting formations. Xerxes is not a fool. The sun begins to dip. The shadows stretch across the pass. The horns sound again, lower this time slower. The next wave gathers. And in that moment, standing in blood up to your ankles, your chest heaving, your armor dented and smeared with war, one truth settles deep inside you. You will not leave this place alive. And strangely, that realization isn't terrifying. It's clarifying. This is why you were born Spartan. This is what every day in the agoge has forged you for, not victory legacy. You slam the butt of your spear against the ground. The sound echoes down the line. Others follow. A rhythm builds slow, thunderous, unshakable. It's the heartbeat of 300 men who know their time has come. The night never comes quietly at Thermopylae. It doesn't slip in gently. It falls like a weight. The setting sun bleeds across the rocks, turning everything into bronze and shadow. The Persian camp stretches beyond the horizon, countless fires burning in the distance, like a second sky lying on the ground. You can hear their voices, their drums, the clatter of armor, an empire breathing, waiting. You stand in silence among your brothers. What remains of the 300 has grown quiet. There's no panic, no whispers of escape, only breathing. Heavy, steady, synchronized like the beating of a single heart. Leonidas walks the line one last time. His armor is dented, scratch-stained, but his eyes burn like the torches along the wall. He doesn't need to say it, but he does anyway. Not as a king, but as one of you. He reminds everyone why they are here. This stand was never about surviving. It was about defying something larger than any one man, defying the tide. The horns sound again. Low, final. The Persians move before dawn. The betrayal has already happened. A Greek has led them through the mountains. Around the pass, you can feel the noose tightening. You raise your shield. Again, the final assault comes from both sides now. From the front, an ocean of soldiers. From behind, the force that seals your fate. You stand in a shrinking island of shields and bronze. A wall of men facing a storm that never ends. The immortals lead the way again. Their black armor glints in the torchlight. The first impact shakes the ground. Spears clash, shields splinter. Your breath turns to fire in your lungs. This is not like the earlier waves. There's no rhythm to hold on to anymore. No push and pull. It's chaos. Hands grasp at your shield. Blades flash in the dark. You strike, block, shove. You don't think anymore. Thinking is too slow. A spear slips past your shield. It scrapes your ribs, hot pain blooming through your side. But you keep moving. Another Spartan steps forward, covering your flank. The line holds even now. For a heartbeat, you look to your left. A friend you trained with since childhood goes down, his helmet split. There is no time to mourn. The next breath belongs to the next strike. The wall closes the gap. The Persians pour in wave after wave. Every inch of ground is bought with blood. Your shield is heavy with cracks. Your spear slick with sweat. You switch to your sword, short, sharp, brutal. The fight collapses into a knot of bodies. Men scream. Steel bites. And yet, no one runs. This is where you've always known it would end. The sky begins to lighten with the first hint of dawn. The dust in the past turns red with the rising sun. The shouting grows louder, closer, overwhelming. But beneath it all, there's something quieter, the sound of Spartans breathing in unison, still standing shoulder to shoulder. Leonidas fights at the front. You catch glimpses of him not as a king draped in glory, but as a man surrounded by enemies, striking until there's nothing left to strike with. One by one, your brothers fall. One by one, the line grows thinner, but even as it shrinks, it does not break. The final push comes like a flood. You are tired beyond anything you've ever known. Your sword arm is heavy, your legs shake. But when the Persians surge forward, you do not step back. You lean into it, into them. And for a moment, just a moment, it feels like the entire world has narrowed to this single point, the edge of your sword. The weight of your shield, the heartbeat in your chest. A blade finds its mark. The world tilts. The ground rushes up to meet you. You fall among your brothers. The noise begins to fade. The sky above you is streaked with light. The last thing you feel is not fear, it's pride. Because you did not flee, you did not break. You stood at Thermopylae, a wall of 300 against an empire. And in that final breath, you understand what it means to be Spartan. This was never about living. It was about becoming legend. And now, you are.